Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. We're discussing the 2018 film Annihilation, starring Natalie Portman, among others, and directed by Alex Garland. The movie really grows on us. So yes, it's another discussion about the end of the world, so you better grab a drink. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday, a pub that tries to be a podcast. And as always, we are looking for customers to visit our bar. So yeah, if you're passionate about something, you want to be on a podcast, you want to talk about science fiction and literature and fantasy and geekery, just let us know because, yes, the SciFi Pubcast is all about community. We really are. My name is Joel. I'm the owner of this fine establishment. And I usually have staff around, and I'm looking, and we've been off for a week. We were a week late, yeah, it's been kind of odd. Derek went missing, and I don't know where he went to. And then suddenly, like today, Carrie's here, and we just walked into this bar, our bar, and lo and behold, Derek's back. And what's really strange is Derek's in the kitchen, he's working hard, and he's making some really awesome-looking food and dishes. Like he's using the best ingredients. He's running his team of chefs like he should have his own cooking show. I don't know what that's all about, but he doesn't.
There's clearly something wrong.
There's clearly something wrong because you talk to him. He's like it's a whole new Derek. What do you think, Carrie? What could have happened to him?
I don't know, but can we keep this Derek?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's gonna make awesome stuff instead of whatever it is he usually makes, I want to keep this Derek.
It's kind of like he went to some sort of shimmer place and he came back a completely changed person.
Ooh.
Well, let's go see if how he is because we need to make sure he's all right. I'm kind of concerned because it's like this is the antimatter Derek, or it's like the opposite Derek, and maybe it's his doppelganger. I love that word, doppelganger, on his But Derek, man, how you doing?
Hi, guys. I just finished cleaning the kitchen. All the dishes are nice and spotless. I made sure there was no, vermin or cockroaches or ants anywhere.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So,
and I'm just finishing up this ratatouille bouillabaisse. It's very nice. I had to go across the city to get the proper ingredients. It cost a pretty penny, but I think it's worth it.
You're spending money too? Okay.
Can we definitely need to keep this Derek.
Derek, what did you do to the real Derek?
I don't remember. I just found myself here in the kitchen last night. I don't remember where I came from or where I've been.
Did you go and see a movie recently?
I don't remember.
Maybe starring like Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaacs and, directed by Alex Garland from 2018.
Oh, yes, I bought garland as well to put on all the dishes.
I see, great. Maybe some other actors like Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson. Anything? Did you just get completely annihilated at the bar? That must have been. Right, yes.
If Derek's drinking, then there's definitely a problem.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I had a few glasses of scotch last night while I was cooking.
I love the fact we're talking about another end of the world movie because we're all going to die. No one I drink. Yes, thanks, Derek. And maybe I'm not sure what Derek is going to show up for the rest of the show, but we are going to be talking about the movie Annihilation from 2018, which is loosely based off of the first book of the Southern Reach trilogy by American author Jeff Vandermeer. The first book got released in 2014. It looks like an interesting book trilogy. I haven't read that. I just read the synopsis on Wikipedia and stuff. But yeah, it's a funky movie. Definitely a funky movie. But before we get there, of course, Carrie, how has your day been? Or you?
Well, I've been sick all week, so I'm here drinking coffee and looking forward to going back to bed as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the bar later, a real bar in just down the street, and probably be looking forward to going to bed afterwards myself. So,
okay.
Totally get that. And yes, it's high summer, so we are having a bit of a delay in some recording episodes. We were late by 1 week for this episode because we generally try to get our shows out every 2 weeks, but it is what it is. There might be a break or two in the next couple of weeks because of work reasons for me, and I'm going on vacation, which I badly need to try to dry out. I probably have to go and drink free booze at the resort, but there's that. Derek, man.
You have to go drink the free brews?
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? Just because you're paying for it, right? I don't feel that it's...
I guess so.
Yeah. Right. Derek.
Yes.
Okay, Derek, let me say this. Have you been to some sort of, Renaissance festival recently?
I may have been in the distant past. Hey, guys, I'm here. Why haven't you been looking for me?
Oh, God, he's back. Hey, Derek, because, we...
Damn it!
Whoa, who is this guy in the kitchen, and why does everything look so clean?
That's your replacement?
Oh my God. Hey, dude, come here. Take this phosphorus grenade, okay? Oh, okay, what am I supposed to do with it?
Oh,
just hold on to it, okay? Now everybody stand back.
A sick burn. All right, someone put on that fire, please. Thank God for our anti-fire suppressant system. Suppression.
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
Wait, why are all the dishes white? I didn't know they had color like that.
Oh God.
I thought they're all kind of yellowy.
Oh, God.
Can we? Is it too late to get the other guy back?
Yeah, he'll be back regardless. They come back. That's how they do things. Yes, it's genetics apparently. It has to do with their cells and how they divide cells, and their cells don't die apparently. Okay. So there's that. Let's see. In Joe's world, I was out watching some live music last night in downtown Ottawa. That was pretty good. Been working a lot, and there's one.
Didn't you meet your antimatter doppelganger when you were out there last night?
Oh, yeah, there was a singer of a local band that kind of looks like me, but I'm much better looking. So, yes. And the only reason why I posted some pictures on my Facebook, and I hate Facebook. I only have Facebook because I have to manage other pages, and I know a lot of people. But I was out with a guy, and he wanted me to post some pictures of the band so his wife knew that he was behaving himself at the music club as opposed to getting completely sloshed at different bars. I crack myself up. I live an interesting life. Right. What else is there? Let's see. For our beer, drink, restaurant / podcast recommendation, I'm going to be completely self-serving, and I'm going to plug my other podcast, which I'm a host on, which is The Crash Couch, an expense podcast, which talks about the Expense TV show, which season 4 is dropping on Amazon Prime as of December 13th of this year.
Woohoo!
Yay! We had a special interview that's going to be coming out sometime this week as date of recording, where we interviewed and led by, of course, the podcast owner, Chris McGuffin. We talked to the showrunner of The Expense himself, Nireen Shankar. Yes, which is a really cool interview. The song quality, it wasn't as great as we would have liked it. We're working on that, but it's a fascinating talk and a fascinating interview, so I definitely recommend that.
And that's someone who's been around since Star Trek Next Generation, right?
Yeah, he was. He started as an intern during season 4 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he was involved with the submarine one, Sequest?
Sequest?
Yeah, there's that.
Oh, I remember that show.
And he spent several years working on CSI. I think he won some Emmys over his work on CSI, and he's been involved with The Expanse since day one of the TV show. So he started off at Sci-Fi, and The Expanse TV show moved over to Amazon this year after being canceled by Sci-Fi. There was a little bit of a drama in the fan community about that, and the fans came together and helped save the show, save The Expanse, which is great. But today we're not talking about The Expanse. We are talking about this movie, Annihilation, which it's not my favorite movie per se. There's a lot of good things happening, and there's a lot of things that just didn't make sense to me. But I don't know, Derek, what's your take on this? Your first initial impressions?
Well, it's certainly not a barn-burning crowd pleaser, but it was certainly interesting and had good story and good visuals, and made you think about things. I'm surprised you don't enjoy it more, because don't you really love The Arrival? Arrival. And isn't that like a very, very, very similar kind of movie?
It's probably in the same camp, forgive the pun on the metaphor, but I love The Arrival so much better, so much more than this one. This one's, there's some leaps in logic that I find hard to stomach, literally stomach, and yeah, I don't know.
That was disturbing.
It was. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie Annihilation from 2018, you really should actually go see the movie. It's on Netflix, so it's easy to watch.
Amazon Prime. Or, no. Yeah, Amazon Prime it's on.
In the States, because it's on Netflix in Canada. And,
in America, it's Amazon Prime.
Oh, there you go.
I think it might also be on Hulu as well. They tend to share things.
Carrie, what's your first take on this?
I went to see this when it came out with some friends from my dojo, and it was interesting. It's very pretty and disturbing all at the same time, which is, yeah, that's fun. And yeah, it was interesting. I got my hands on the books, but I haven't had a chance to read them yet.
Yeah,
they're on my list.
Yeah, well, good. When you do read the books, please let us know how they are. Eventually, I'll probably read them, but yeah, I'm so behind my reading, of course.
The one major problem that I did have with it, though, is that it's probably my least favorite MCU movie, because it just seems so totally different from everything else, and the characters just don't make sense in their other movies, and it seems to be setting up something that doesn't even get touched afterwards. Like, why did Jane Foster change her name? I mean, is it because in the Avengers, when S.H.I.E.L.D. said they put her into safe hiding for Thor's sake, but like they never connect to that? And if Apocalypse died in the 2016 movie Apocalypse, how is he now reborn as this soldier and married to her? Was it like some kind of weird time travel thing? And I understand why Wong would be, investigating this as part of their duties to protect the Earth from mystical threats. But they never flat out say that it's Wong or show him using magic or anything. And this took place right before Infinity War, but none of it gets mentioned anywhere.
Where's our other Derek?
I don't know. Can we get him back?
And also, I mean, Annihilation is one of the cooler Marvel comic books to come out recently, but the storyline was completely different in the comic book. That was about Annihilus invading our universe, and I guess I guess this was the first wave of the antimatter invasion, but there's no mention of Annihilus or anything like that. And the comic book starred Nova and Star-Lord, and they're not even mentioned in this one. It was just very strange. And Valkyrie is in it, but she acts completely out of character. She's very meek and mild. It was just very weird.
Derek, you're aware that every movie that comes out is related to the MCU, right?
Well, I mean, I did at one point think it was a Star Wars movie because it had Poe and Padme in it, but no, it's definitely an MCU movie because it has 4 characters.
No,
in it?
that's not how it works.
Yeah, and Poe and Padme were sleeping together. That's kind of just weird in my books.
I don't know. Maybe it was like the reincarnation of Padme or something. I don't know, but suffice to say, I was very confused the whole way through.
Wow. And at this point,
I don't even know what to say. I don't even think the cold meds could make sense of that.
Yes, and no wonder I don't see any customers here in the bar. Oh well.
Yeah.
They're lost.
Well, you told me I'm not allowed to talk if there's customers around. Fortunately, we usually don't have that problem. So.
Right. Great. Yes.
Joel, we need more customers so we can shut Derek up.
Yes, it's kind of like this entire show is just so self-aware of its own irony. Yes, all we need is some more use of metaphors and refract on that.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. What else? Well, I think my biggest issue with this movie, moving on from Derek's interpretation of certain things, is why didn't they just nuke the area? If there is a clear and present danger, you think any government, especially the United States government, would not hesitate to actually, burn the buggers out?
Wait, you think the U.S. only resorts to nukes all the time?
Yeah. Well,
oh wait.
Well, it was spreading very, very slowly, so I'm sure they were hoping to learn as much as they could before they, did that, because like they said, it's not even close to an inhabited area at this point, and it's going so slowly. They still have plenty of time left.
Yeah, well, I think
In theory, anyway.
in theory, so that team of the 4 women who went in during the movie Annihilation, that's, I believe, Expedition Team 12. So they sent in 11 previous teams, many of which were military-oriented, military teams. And no one actually returned except for, well, the character of Kane, played by Oscar Isaac. And that starts the whole plot thing in this movie. So you wonder, if you send in 11 teams previously and only one person returned a year later and he's completely medically screwed up because something's happening to him, wouldn't that pose a danger, especially when we're dealing with so many unknowns?
Yeah, true. But I mean, kind of goes back to the old adage from Star Trek. You try and then you try again and then you try again, and again, as you said, the thing is moving so slowly that there is a time per se to try to figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, that just nothing seems to have an effect. So I guess maybe at this point a nuke probably would be a good idea. But is a nuke ever a good idea? I mean, what if it just makes it worse?
Yeah, I think fear will motivate a lot of people, and I just think that if there was any doubt of the danger of this new shimmer, this new life form, or this new dimension, that I don't think leaders of governments will delay the use of nukes, especially if you're reading it into, like, say, a religious metaphor, a religious experience.
The other thing to keep in mind is that the director of the project was dying of cancer and was hoping to, somehow use the strange effects to cure herself. So it was in her own best interest not to just destroy it.
Yes. It's interesting because there's a lot of cancer metaphors going through this movie. And how do you kill cancer?
Radiation.
Radiation and chemotherapy, which is the medical equivalent of a nuclear bomb on the human body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And it kind of also plays into the themes of self-destruction, because all of the major characters are trying to destroy themselves somehow at some level, because that's what humans do. And they tied that into, it's in our cells, because our cells will eventually die. This will self-destroy.
Yeah.
Whereas this alien force, its cells doesn't die. It's by far the superior organism that way.
And you could look at cancer as a metaphor for antimatter because it destroys life.
Yeah. I've never actually seen antimatter, so I don't know what it does, but apparently it exists, right? Theoretically?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, briefly. Once it comes into contact with matter, they just instantly annihilate themselves.
Can you harness it for some sort of energy and a generator on a warp drives, something like that? I don't know. Just a thought.
Maybe.
Scientists, please get on that. Okay, what else is there? The other thing I have is that they sent in 11 teams, and no one returned except for the one odd exception of Kane, played by Oscar Isaac. Now, if you're going to approach it from a scientific perspective, and you don't know what's happening inside there, because, of course, communications go down as soon as you enter this shimmer, and weather waves don't work. There's a whole funky time thing going on where you lose track of time. Wouldn't you do the two-step? Wouldn't you just take one step into the shimmer, see what it's all about, then one step back?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe you're not able to do that. Maybe it's kind of like a one-way street, and the only way to cross back is when you're properly infected with the antimatter, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but this movie is very good at not explaining things, which is an interesting storytelling technique, because it makes the viewer actually have to think and come up with their own theories, which is good. I'm pro-thinking, definitely pro-thinking. But I'm just thinking, okay, send in drones, perhaps. You think about it. Yeah, there's another thing, right? Okay.
But if they lose communications once they cross over, then sending a drone would work, because the drone would just die, wouldn't it?
Yeah. How about this? You tie it like a dog with a rope and let the dog go in it, and then you drag the dog back and then do medical experiments on the dog.
The ASPCA would probably get on someone's ass about that.
Right. Oh, yeah, probably. It's a horrible thing to do, but then we're dealing with governments in extreme situations. You can do that to volunteers. Have a way, but then again, we don't know what the shimmer does when you enter the shimmer. So lots of unknowns. No,
I just love, as I have it on in the background here. I just love how especially the daytime, everything looks like they've been shooting inside of like a soap bubble. It's very, very pretty that way.
Yes, it's a very pretty dimension, and the movie's actually beautifully shot.
Oh yeah.
I actually wish that there was more kind of weird rainbow effect lighting. Like, I mean, it's very subtle, but I kind of wish it was a little more obvious the whole way through.
What do you mean by more obvious? I mean, it's always in the background, this purple, blue, green type lighting in the back of everything.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're in the sky, but I don't know, maybe just kind of, I don't know, just kind of like everything kind of, I mean, because I'm playing it on mute too, and it usually just looks normal. I mean, when they're outside looking at the shimmer, you see it, but once they're inside, the sky looks normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting if they did some kind of like, subtle color correction kind of thing to give everything a slight rainbow prism.
Mm.
But it won't be as pleasant to look at, right, as a viewer over an hour and a half period. This movie also uses a lot of lighting contrasts between the dark and the light. And that plays into the metaphor or the theme of the doppelganger, right? The fact that people are self-destructing because they fight with themselves.
Right.
Right. So I'm watching two in the background. So we're all watching it in the background. Oh wait, there's a mutant albino crocodile that's going to kill someone. Oh, this is cool. I got distracted there. So there's that, which is kind of it's just the whole. Like, if you don't use metaphors to understand this movie, you're not going to understand this movie. Just because, at least that's my take on it. But it's interesting, the theory behind it, where you have this cells, that as soon as you enter the shimmer, it enters your own cells, your own DNA sequence. And that changes people differently. That changes organisms quickly. Like, say, the albino crocodile, or the deer, or later on, the bear.
So all those creepy human flowers, was that the corpses of all the teams that came in before?
Yeah,
maybe.
There's some of that. There probably.
I think that was like the creepiest image in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Creepier than the guy with the snakes in his gut.
Oh, that was pretty gross too. But I mean, that was like clearly CGI, whereas the flowers were physically present there, and I just thought that was like so creepy looking.
Yeah, and it plays into the fact that you have the character played by Thompson, who just didn't want to fight anymore, right? So she surrendered to this new life form, this new entity, and they morph into trees. And actually, there's one of the lines says that there's human DNA found within it, so that confirms that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Brutal.
So do you guys, what are your guys' theory on what exactly the shimmer was?
Well, I mean, it looked like it came from outer space. It looked like some kind of meteor that hit the lighthouse.
But was it like just like a natural random phenomenon, or did it have an intelligence behind it?
I have no idea.
I think it's to follow up on the cancer metaphor. It's a cancer. But whether it has a guiding mind, if it's self-aware that it's a cancer, or was it simply a weapon sent by other aliens, that remains to be seen.
Is it malignant, though? Because I mean, I know it kills people, but isn't it more just copying and adding to? I mean, the only people that die come from kind of like, them hurting themselves or, messed up crocodiles and stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions posed by the movie, is that do you have to destroy yourself to change into something better? Yeah.
That's, that's a pretty huge, metaphor right there. I mean, trying to, you have to tear down what you were to become something else.
Yeah, even down to the cellular level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of have to believe that this was literally supposed to be like an antimatter meteor, because the term annihilation does specifically refer to a matter-antimatter reaction. So I kind of take that literally, as in that this was literally an antimatter meteorite that hit, but rather than an instant one-to-one annihilation reaction, it's somehow mutated or is able to coexist with matter, so that rather than just destroying each other, it's slowly mutating it to survive instead. And now I had a very obscure joke that I thought about using, but baryogenesis is a physics term, and basically they say that when the Big Bang started and the universe was created, you would think that there would have been an even mixture of matter and antimatter at that time. And if there had been, they would have just instantly mutually annihilated each other and there would have been no universe. But there is an imbalance in the universe between the amount of matter and antimatter, because there would have to be in order for matter and life and us to exist. And maybe that has something to do with dark matter, who knows? But I kind of feel like that is connected to this movie because, first of all, the title of the movie is Annihilation, which is about matter and antimatter. And if there was some reason that there is that imbalance, maybe this movie shows us the reason for that imbalance, because some antimatter doesn't just destroy, it transforms and melds and creates with matter. And maybe that is how life came to be, because at the beginning of the movie, Natalie is talking about, all life comes from this one single cell. So maybe that's a metaphor for the Big Bang. And this is showing how life formed in the universe and on Earth, that the antimatter doesn't just destroy, it can transform and create.
That's an interesting take, Derek. But just to let you know, I might be old, but I wasn't around for the Big Bang.
Neither was I.
So, I know. See, this is the joy of this movie, is not only is it beautifully shot, not only is there some really quality acting. I think the acting is first class in this entire movie, and that's not a X-Men reference. But I actually like this movie because it asks the big questions and it is open to interpretation.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed watching this movie a lot more the second time around, because the first time it's just people wandering through a forest and weird stuff is happening to them and you don't really know what's going on. But the second time around, you can really start thinking about the meaning behind it.
Mm.
And you can read into it. So you look at some of the characters' names, So Anya Thornton, which is one of the women they sent in, played by Gina Rodriguez. Anya, I've read, it means mother in Hungarian. So you have these birth metaphors.
Mm.
So, and you have the Casey Shepherd character, but her name's Shepherd. What's happening there? So,
and the most important name of all, Dr. Ventress. Please tell me that's a Star Wars reference, because none of these, in the original book, none of the characters even have names. So the people who made the movie decided to use the name Ventress, which I really hope is a Star Wars reference.
I probably don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because I really like Jennifer Jason Leigh as an actress or an actor. But I just remember her in this cop drug movie called Rush back in like the 90s, and that's why I know her from. Wow. Some of the actors. And the woman who plays Cassie, or Case Shepherd, she's, I think, was it Swedish? She's from Swedish. So Sweden, I should say.
Sweden?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think she has done a whole lot of English cinema, but... yeah, she has quite the film lineage, because her dad was a film director who was Czech. There's lots of things happening. And I don't want to... let me try her name. Tuva Novotny. I'm sure I've just butchered the hell out of that. I'm sorry. So
I don't know.
What else is there about this movie? Okay, how about this tattoo stuff going on? The Ouroboros tattoo? Which is the snake eating itself?
Yeah, so apparently people only start getting this tattoo once they've become infected. So Natalie has it at the end of the movie. She doesn't have it at the beginning. And halfway through the movie, you see her kind of rubbing at a bruise on her arm that is the formation of the tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
That's weird. It's also one of the characters had that tattoo while going in. And the dead soldier with the snakes in his stomach, what they found basically being this life growth thing on the wall inside the pool, had the same tattoo.
Yeah, so my assumption would be that one of the first teams had the tattoo and it somehow got copied into everyone afterwards. Yeah. Because the entire shimmer was kind of one gestalt life form. So when it picks up one thing, that'll get carried over to everyone else. That's why everything they found there had human DNA in it, because everything was getting carried over.
Yeah, and it plays very well into the whole self-destruction metaphor. So it's a snake eating itself like a figure 8 shape. That has been around for ages and ages. But I have to wonder, is it the characters who are on the self-destructive side, or is the film talking about humanity in itself, or us humans? Are we just a self-destructive system that we're like a cancer?
Well, I mean that goes back to the whole thing from the Matrix. Agent Smith's some theory that humans are a virus.
Yeah, and if you look at it from from a global environmental point of view, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Definitely. Especially right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's awful. We just showing how bad that we are as humans. I definitely need a drink later.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I did think that the Ouroboros tattoo was a little bit on the nose, thematically speaking. I don't know. That one was like a little too obvious for me.
Yeah, it was with me as well. But
I mean, like it's like the alien intelligence had a sense of irony or a sense of humor about it, or like, oh, this will be thematic. Maybe it is an aspiring author.
Interesting.
Although, joking aside, I don't think that it had a certain intelligence or consciousness, because it was just kind of mindlessly copying everything it came across. So I don't think that it was sent by other aliens as a weapon or something. I think it was just a naturally occurring phenomenon, and it just automatically copied things. I don't think there was any kind of motive behind it. It was just something that exists to copy and live just like all forms of life.
It is something that just happened to crash land into Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, into a lighthouse. That's going to be a bit on the nose, talking about metaphors.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that, and this is very subtle, and it's towards the end of the film. So when you have Lena, played by Natalie Portman, she gets into the lighthouse finally, and she walks past all these crystal entities, and there's skeletons set up as like a cemetery, so it's talking about, of course, death and what is life, what is death, and asking these questions. And then she goes in and she finds the whole camera video set up, and there's a body, right, of course the Oscar Isaac character Cain, which is her husband, and she plays it, and she sees Cain's last moments on Earth, where he gets the incendiary grenade and he offs himself, but he's talking to someone who's actually shooting the video, and he says something to the effect, "Make sure you go out. Please go see Lena. Go see Lena." So what he's doing is that he's actually talking to his clone, his doppelganger. So to me, that suggests the doppelganger has some sort of intelligence or sentient ability, because he's following out instructions from Cain. The counter argument is that, cells do this all the time. Cells divide because they have some sort of command. It's like a computer programming, but from a biological DNA perspective. So it leaves that question open still, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
The one thing that I still don't entirely understand after having watched the movie a couple of times is what exactly was going on with Cain and the rest of the soldiers. Were they just kind of slowly going insane and kill crazy? Like, why? Like when they have that video of them cutting open the guy's stomach to show the snakes, and Cain is kind of like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" Like, was he just supposed to be completely over the bend at that point? What was his motivation in doing that and being so pleased with it? And why did he kill himself? I mean, were they supposed to be in their right minds at that point, or were they just supposed to be completely deluded?
I think they were kind of deluded at that point.
So they're just kind of becoming these kind of like id monsters as they slowly went insane.
Yeah. As soon as they get infected by the shrimmer, well, I can't say the word.
Shimmer?
Shimmer.
Yeah, Shimmer. Yeah. Oh, God. So not only does it affect them physically in different ways. Some people become mushes of biomass. Other people becomes trees. Right? It affects their ability to think, their consciousness. They get confused. They get less motivated. They're going like the onset of Alzheimer's. It's just an odd way of explaining things.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what was going on in Kane's head when he kills himself with the grenade. Because he's like, all right, clone buddy, you go hang out with my wife. I'm just going to stay here and kill myself. I don't.
Well,
maybe it's not supposed to be rational or explainable.
Well, I think also in this film, depression is a theme because that's part of the human condition, and a depression is the lack of emotion. You see that in the Tessa Thompson character, where she just wants to feel.
Yeah.
Right. That's being depressed. Mm-hmm. So when the Kane character, but by Oscar Isaac, is just I just want to fade away. I just want to burn out.
Mm.
And you think about this is really neat, is that why is Kane in the Shimmer to begin with? Why did he volunteer to go in? Well, because he knew his wife, of course, Lena, played by Natalie Portman, had an affair.
Yeah.
Right? So you could say Lena is partly responsible for the fate of Kane.
Yeah.
Right? And that motivates Lena because of her guilt to volunteer in the mission as well. The next mission.
Now, does the movie definitively state that she was sleeping with that guy before Kane disappeared? Because I was under, I mean, like I said, I've seen the movie twice now. Both times, I was under the assumption that it was taking place after Kane was MIA and presumably dead.
No. The flashbacks suggest that it happened before. So basically, the Lena character has fucked up a really loving relationship by having an affair with this creepy colleague, academic type.
Yeah, because my impression was that his first scene, which I think was her first scene as well, where he's just like, come to my barbecue. I thought that they had sex after that scene. But you're saying that they had sex and then afterwards he was inviting her to a barbecue.
Yeah, because Lena wasn't with it and he was just trying to reach out and help her out.
Mm.
But he was married too, right? So it's icky all around. And it's also interesting that this the 12th team they sent in, Expedition number 12, is all female. And so you have gender stuff going on. You can say there's some race stuff going on, but it's not really race. It's shades. So of course the professor that Lena had an affair with was black, and of course Lena was white. Shades. So it's really playing with this visual imagery.
Yeah,
it's a strange movie.
Did they intentionally send all women, or was it just a coincidence?
I think according to the book they did it on purpose. Because
since the men screwed it all up, let's try women this time.
Yeah, or mixed gender teams. So, and send in a bunch of scientists. Hey, here's one. I know I've heard criticism that how do all these women scientists know how to fire a machine gun or an assault weapon? Now, they're not military. But Lena was.
Natalie was ex-military. They said.
Yeah. I would argue you can learn how to fire an assault weapon by taking like a 5-day course. It's not rocket science. So I think that's an unfair criticism. And
I don't remember the other ones ever firing with any kind of accuracy or professionalism either. Because I remember like Natalie seemed to be the only one that was really like sighting down and firing properly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys make of the ending of when the whole mirror of Lena comes into play after Lena runs into Dr. Ventress, or the form of Dr. Ventress, at the very bottom of the lighthouse?
Well, I think that again shows that the entity doesn't really have any consciousness or motive on its own, that it's just mindlessly copying and creating life, because the clone was literally just doing whatever she did and, and didn't try to save itself when she put a grenade in its hands.
Yeah. You could also read that, the clone and Lena was actually being crushed by her own self, right? Especially when she ran for the door and the clone ran behind her and pinned her to the door.
Yeah.
She's being crushed by her own self, and that plays into the whole self-destruction theme.
I did read one very interesting theory just now. This person theorizes that the entity did have an intelligence, and that its basic master plan through the point of the movie was that it knew the military was going to try to bomb it. So what it did was it sent Kane out to go get Natalie and bring her back and infect her, and then Natalie would, quote-unquote, destroy the Shimmer so that it was no longer a threat. But then she and Kane still infected. Well, Kane was literally a clone and she was infected. The two of them would safely survive the destruction and then quietly go about creating the new antimatter race and spreading it to the Earth.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense, although I personally still believe that it doesn't have consciousness or motive.
The whole destruction of the Shimmer was interesting. I've read that one theory is the incendiary grenade that went off. Well, this entity has never seen fire before, so it was trying to fuse its cells with fire, and of course that didn't work out very well, and that's what destroyed the Shimmer.
It was automatically copying the fire.
Yeah. So if you see...
I took it as just that the clone was intrinsically connected to everything. So just like if the whole thing was a trail of gunpowder, if you set fire to one trail of it, the fire is going to catch across the entire amount of it.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, fire. The destruction, the annihilation.
Yeah.
Fire, bad.
But fire can be used to cook things and heat things, and yeah. Talking about back in the day, caveman stuff. What else is there about this movie you guys want to talk about?
Do you guys believe that is the original Natalie at the end of the movie, or her clone?
I'm not sure.
I think
it could be either.
Yeah, I think it's the original Natalie, but she's been changed because.
Yeah, I'm completely convinced that it's the original Natalie, because at no point was there a scene where she could have swapped places with the clone that that was hidden from us, the viewer. So I think it was 100% the clone that died, and this is the real Natalie. But of course, she's still infected with the Shimmer. She's the original one, but she has been altered.
Yeah. But the counter argument to that is that during her fight with the clone, she passes out at one point.
But the one that explodes is still the kind of formless silver creature, and then it only starts to look like her right before it blows up.
Yeah.
So if the person that blew up was the original Natalie, why did it look like the basic silver form?
Yeah, it's open for interpretation.
Yeah. The first time I saw the movie, I thought it was a clone. But watching it again and looking for it, I do think it's the original biologist.
How about this one? So Lena escapes, or her modified self, right, afterwards. So the Shimmer's been destroyed. She's out in the original world. You have Oscar Isaac, who's out in the original world, but clearly he's a clone, not the original Kane.
Yeah.
So is it possible that Lena and Kane can have a baby? Yes. Hence,
Maybe.
The cells will begin into the DNA family tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you think of it long term, like hundreds of thousands of years, you have this merging.
Oh, yeah, and that was the other thing about the intelligent plan theory, because at the beginning of the movie, clone Kane is dying for some reason, but at the end of the movie, after the Shimmer has been destroyed, he's not dying anymore, he's fine. So why was he quote-unquote dying before? That was part of the plan. By having him reappear dying, it lures Natalie to the site, to the Shimmer, and then once that plan is accomplished, he's no longer fake dying. Or you could also argue that Natalie was infected with the Shimmer source seed, and that's why he's okay now, because he's next to the wellspring, the energy.
Wow. Yeah, it's
that seed thing that the doctor becomes. That was really trippy looking. That was really cool. to look at. I kind of wish there was more crazy imagery like that in the movie.
Yeah.
Although the bear thing that cried in the woman's voice was also incredibly disturbing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has aspects of the proto-molecule from the Expanse series. You have these...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any last thoughts before we wrap the show up?
I don't think so.
Hey,
I'll say give the movie a second watch. It becomes a lot more enjoyable the second time around.
yeah, you need to give it a double take at least.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Yeah, we like to do some talk about movies and stuff every so often because it allows us to interact in a nice, willing way where we don't have to do so much research, especially when we're busy with our real lives. So yeah, the Sci-Fi Pubcast is not a movie podcast review, so to speak, but we can talk about anything here because it's a bar, and we do like our movies. You can find our social media channels. The Sci-Fi Pubcast is on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I do the Twitter and Instagram, and my friend Derek, I'm not sure which Derek, does the Facebook. And
boy.
And the one Derek's doing a good job. The other Derek, not so much. We do have a
And we'll leave it to you to figure out which one is which.
Great. We also have a Discord server, which is like a text chat room type thing. If you want to invite, check out our social media. It's free. Come join the community. Everyone's invited because this show is all about community. Ours and everyone else's community. We just want people to get along and have interesting conversations. The Sci-Fi Pubcast Twitter address is at Sci-Fi Pubcast. And you can also email us, which I would say it's the old method of communications, but really it's like mail, like postal mail is the old fashioned. I'm that old. But regardless, our email address is at management@scifipubcast.space. Reviews, yes, please leave some anywhere. We would appreciate that. Carrie, what's your Twitter address?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's KERI Blackfire42.
And Derek, what's yours?
I am at Derek J. Beebe.
And I'm at Joel_Welch. And by the way, our friend Dr. Randall Graham, professor, yeah, he'll be back sure, like every so often. He sends his regrets that he can make this recording. I believe he used the word cuddles, so there's that. And of course, we would do a disservice if we didn't mention his book, Before Life. So everyone, drink. Okay.
L'chaim.
Yeah, so it's closing time. Please make it home safe. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.
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 Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Drew M. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.